All right, so what's up, y'all? It's your girl. I am back for another video. Today's video, I'm gonna be doing a sit down video, just kind of going over my whole experience that's happened while it's still fresh in my memory, kind of from start to finish. I didn't really get to vlog everything, talk about everything. Now that everything is kind of over, I kind of just wanted to sit here and like have a conversation about like my experience, how everything felt, how I feel now, and maybe discuss the future a little bit. Hopefully this helps somebody one day. So yeah, the kids are in the background. We're getting ready to go and pick up cash for the weekend, so they're playing just kind of whatever in our common area, so it's going to be some background kid noise, but they're happy, and so I guess that's a good sign, right? I had what is considered a silent miscarriage, although I felt like I kind of did have some signs and symptoms. The classic signs and symptoms for a miscarriage I totally didn't have. It's called a silent miscarriage or a missed miscarriage, where you're technically carrying a fetus that is deceased or passed away, and you don't know about it. You don't have cramping. You don't have a significant amount of bleeding. You don't have anything that would like let you know that you are having or you have had a loss. So the first symptom that I noticed that I didn't really know was gonna end up leading up to this was I had a dip in symptoms. There was like 1 to 3 day period where I felt like my nausea was going down to where I wasn't as nauseous. I wasn't uncomfortable like I had been every single day. I hadn't had any like actual vomiting during the pregnancy, but I had like all day nausea. And then all of a sudden, one day I realized, I haven't been nauseous at all today. I wasn't really nauseous yesterday. What's going on? And I remember getting on and doing a video and being like, you guys, this nausea just went away. And it really did make me sit and think, but I didn't think that it would be anything serious at the time. I was telling myself like, no, you're just tripping. You know what I'm saying? And I ended up convincing myself like, no, like it's fine, because shortly after, my nausea came back in full effect. Like I was down. So I was like, okay, it's fine. Plus I had a doctor's appointment coming up. I'm like, I'm going to be good. Like it's fine. I don't know. Just be grateful that you didn't have nausea for a couple of days, because it's definitely back. I went to my doctor's appointment, had an ultrasound. The baby's heartbeat was very, very strong. No issues. Everything was perfect as far as the eye could see. Nobody was concerned. I wasn't concerned. Pregnancy symptoms continued after that point. And then like a month later, I started having spotting on the same day I had a doctor's appointment. And it was just like a little tiny bit noticeable. Definitely noticed. I definitely noticed it. It wasn't a lot, just like a little bit. But I was like, this can't be anything serious. Like I'm just telling myself like, this can't be anything serious. And I did text my boo, and I remember saying, like, I'm a little nervous because I had a little spotting, and he was like, well, you're going to the doctor, so it'll be fine. Like it's perfect timing for this to happen because you're going to the doctor, so everything's going to be fine. Like, just relax. He's always my calm voice of reason, because I can freak out easily. I could end up overthinking it and freaking out about something that I really shouldn't have freaked out about. So I always, will call him or text him and be like, this is going on. And he'll be like, no, calm down. It's not like that, whatever. So he calmed me down. I got to my doctor's appointment. Again, I had another ultrasound. Baby was fine. Baby's heartbeat was fine. And another thing that I will say that I noticed now that I didn't notice then was that the baby never moved. Like, I don't remember him moving. Even in like my most earliest ultrasounds, I remember all of my kids doing this little, I call it like a little, like a magic bean jumping type, they're not really doing anything. It's kind of like reflexes. They're just in there bouncing and, just doing their thing. And I never really thought about it, but I never saw this baby do that. I never saw him really move. His heart was beating. He had a strong heartbeat. He was doing good. He was growing. but he just wasn't physically like moving. And so I now I look back and I think about it, that was a symptom also, or like an indication that something was going to be wrong, but it didn't click for me in that time. With that being said, the fact that even with that though, the fact that my doctor was assuring me everything was fine, heartbeat was good, everything was visibly good. There was just really no indication that there was going to be any issues. And I told him about the spotting at that appointment. He was like, listen, if it continues, if it gets worse, let me know, but I'm not going to be real concerned about it right now, because sometimes spotting can happen for unexplainable reasons during pregnancy. As long as it's not heavy or consistent, I'm not going to worry about it, because I saw the baby. Baby's fine. Baby's heartbeat's strong. So let's just keep an eye on it. And so I was okay with that. So I left that appointment feeling really confident, but I didn't realize that was the last time I was going to see my son alive. So that was on I think a Friday. And the next morning I had a little bit more spotting, but like it just disappeared. It went away. It was like it never happened. And I still felt pregnant. I still had my nausea, my tiredness, my, everything. Like nothing was different to me. When the spotting went away, I was like, okay, that's fine. So the whole weekend, no spotting. I'm keeping an eye out. I'm not having any cramping, no spotting. And then Monday morning rolls around and I go to the restroom in the morning and there's a little bit more. And so I call my doctor's office and I say, hey, this might be a UTI. Because I was just thinking I just saw the baby Friday. Baby's heart rate's good. Baby's good. Baby's doing his thing. I was starting to think of like, maybe it's some sort of like infection, or maybe it's like a UTI. Sometimes, you get a UTI, it's painful. Sometimes I can get a UTI and not really have any symptoms besides some spotting or some lower back pain. And a lot of these symptoms when you're pregnant feel like pregnancy symptoms. So it's hard to like differentiate between the two. So I was like talking to the nurse and I was like, hey, maybe send a note to my doctor. I don't know. He already knows about what's going on, but I'm starting to think maybe this might be a UTI. So she's like, okay, let me get the note to your doctor. Let me see what he wants to do. Technically they were like, we can prescribe you something over the phone, but let me see what he wants us to do, because you really don't have any of the other like classic symptoms besides this weird spotting. So she's like, I'll get back to you no later than tomorrow. So she gets back to me the following day. She says, I talked to your doctor. He said that it's okay for you, considering that these are your only symptoms. It's okay to wait until you come in for your appointment later on this week. And I had an appointment for like Thursday, which was like 2 days later. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I was okay with that. After I got off the phone with her, like that day, the rest of the day, I didn't have any spotting the rest of the week. No spotting, no cramping, no issues. And Thursday, I get up, I get dressed, I get to the appointment. They run my urine sample for a UTI. She comes back in the room. She's like, you don't have any infections. You don't have anything going on. We're not concerned about anything. And you're just a little dehydrated. So like, we can't really explain this spotting. She's like, but before you leave, I would like to do an ultrasound just to make sure, check on the baby, make sure he's okay. I did a vlog about this. So if you guys haven't seen the vlog, you can see all of this happen in real time in my vlog on my channel. Scroll back up a few videos and you can see the day that this all happened. But just for the people who didn't see that video, just to give like a brief overview from start to where we're at now, I'm gonna go ahead and just, add this in here. We do the ultrasound and I don't really want to go into too much detail because I did go into detail in the video that I'm telling you guys to go look at, but I just do not want to break down in this video. So, but long story short, she's looking concerned and she says, hey, I'll be honest with you, I don't see a heartbeat. I'm going to go get a second pair of eyes just to double check. She does that. Another person comes in. They say the same thing. So at this point, I am just confused, shocked. I'm in a state of, I can't even explain the feeling at that moment. It was just like a feeling of, this can't possibly be happening to me. I must be in a dream. Like I must be dreaming. This is not happening to me. And so then, I get in the car, I call my boyfriend and I break the fuck down in the car. And at that point, I just could no longer hold it together. Fast forward later on in the evening, the person who I saw in that doctor's appointment wasn't my actual doctor, but he had no openings that day. And I just really wanted to get in and get seen. So I saw someone else. So I sent a message to my doctor, and he reached back later on that night after hours and was like, hey, I'm so sorry for your loss. Just basically just apologizing for everything that had just happened to me that day. And he was just saying, we want you to come in tomorrow morning for another ultrasound, just for peace of mind ultrasound, to confirm that what we actually saw was what we actually saw. So I went ahead and did that. I went in and went for another ultrasound the next day, which is a Friday. And it was really quick. She did tell me it was the same lady from the last time, not my doctor, but she was still nice. And she was like, you don't have to do this if you really don't want to see the baby deceased again. And I just was like, just for my peace of mind, just so I know this is really what this is, I want to see again. And so she did the ultrasound again, and he in fact did not have a heartbeat. So it was hard, but I kept it together. Again, I had Onyx with me. And from that point forward, my doctor reached out that same morning and was like, okay, we have confirmed this is what I suggest. I highly suggest you do DNC because of how far along you are. He did say that the other methods are probably less likely to be successful the first time, and that there's a great possibility for hemorrhage and infection, and just like the fact that the pregnancy cannot completely expel itself, especially because of how far along I am. So, I let him know I am uncomfortable with the idea of having a procedure done because it's just foreign to me, but I trust his professional opinion and let's book it. So he said, okay. And I just want to say also that I love my doctor so much. My OB, this is the same doctor that delivered Blaze. And when I say this man is like, just his bedside manner is amazing. And it is so hard to find doctors like this that are just compassionate about their jobs. They're gentle, very understanding and empathetic. Like, I just love him. With that being said, I would not have done this procedure if he was not going to be my doctor. And it was just the anxiety of thinking, like, if I were to try to pass the pregnancy, or if I were to try to go through another method and I hemorrhaged or something happened and I had to have an emergency DNC and he was not my doctor, I would be more traumatized on top of everything else. And so I said I would rather control the situation, control the day, the time, and the person who's going to be performing this on me than to be put in a position where I have no control. And so I decided to do the DNC. Plus to kind of just get some closure and get the situation taken care of, so I was not forced to be in any more pain emotionally or physically. So yeah, they went ahead and scheduled me and they got me in pretty quickly, but again, this was over a weekend. So after my Friday appointment, he got me scheduled the same day for surgery, which was the following week, but I still had to go about 4 or 5 days with a deceased baby in me. And I think that's something that people don't talk about enough with miscarriages, is that whether you miscarry naturally, unless you're just spontaneously miscarrying where it just happens and you had no idea, but if you know you have had a miscarriage and you are waiting for your body to do it on its own, or you're taking pills to start the process, or you're waiting for a DNC, you're going to be waiting for a few days. Unless there's, I guess, some sort of emergency, then maybe you might get an emergency DNC. But in my case, and a couple other people that I know's case, you have to wait. And that's hard. I think that was one of the hardest things mentally, emotionally, and physically for me, was knowing that he had passed away and that I was still carrying him around. And then not only that, you still have pregnancy symptoms while you still have the pregnancy inside of you, whether he's passed, even though he had passed. So that was also hard because I felt pregnant. I felt tired. I felt nauseous. And then I'm emotionally going through so much with everything, still trying to wrap my head around everything. It's like I went from pregnant and planning a registry and my future with a new child, to planning a DNC and everything stopping and walking around with a baby that I knew was no longer alive in me. It was just the feeling I cannot explain, I cannot express, but it was a heavy feeling. you guys are watching this video, I hope that you have already seen my surgery, my DNC video, but I will put it up somewhere above or below so you guys can go and watch it if you haven't already. Go watch that video and it will kind of make sense and give you some visual on this story time. I didn't get as much footage because I was very anxious and I had a lot of anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety before the procedure. I was just afraid of hemorrhaging. I was watching videos of what I could find about DNCs online, and I remember coming across this one woman's story, and she was saying that she hemorrhaged really bad and she just had a horrible experience. So obviously that scared the shit out of me, and it made me even more anxious and worried about the procedure itself. So not only am I dealing with the effects of the loss of the pregnancy, but now I'm freaking out about a procedure. So it just was like so much stress. I'm still stressed from how stressed I was. And but it's a lot more relief now that it's done. But I will say that it was just a lot of scrambling, because when stuff like this happens, no one is expecting for this to happen. Like, it just was a lot. I'm in a long distance relationship. My boyfriend wanted to be here, and it just was like so much, like, it's just so much emotion, so much frustration. We were both upset. There was a lot of tears. It was a lot of everything. And so it was just very difficult. The whole thing was hard. So me and him, we came up with a plan and an agreement that worked best for us. And I'll keep that private for obvious reasons. So now fast forward, we are at the surgery morning. My sister is there with me. I love you, sis. Okay, I love you so much. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys have not seen my surgery vlog, go watch it. It'll give you guys a lot of visual on this. But, you know, I walked in, I checked in. I spent a lot of time being anxious. So, yeah, I did not enjoy my time at all. But I spoke to all the doctors, all of the nurses, and everyone. And then finally my doctor comes in and he's like, hey, you know, I'm here. I'm going to take good care of you. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. At this point, I'm nervous as crap. I'm talking. I don't even know what I'm talking about. No medicine has been injected into my IV yet. I'm just running my mouth to them. And I guess the nurses were trying to keep me talking and keep me like calm. But I was just like, I don't even remember what I was talking about. And so yeah, they wheeled me into this big OR room. They had me switch beds. And that's when it got really real, because it was like 12 people in there. And I was like, this is really happening. My anesthesiologist, I had already talked to her, you know, they come and see you before the procedure and everything. And she was like, yeah, explaining to me the two different types of like anesthesia I can get. And I picked like the basic, you know, the one where they just knock you out and you fall asleep in your sleep, like you're just sedated. And she looks at me, and I just really wish she wouldn't have told me, but I know that was important for me to know. But in the moment, I was thinking to myself, no, bitch, why did you tell me that? In this moment, I'm already about to myself. Okay. But no, she looks at me. She's like, we decided to go ahead, that we're going to go ahead and just fully intubate you and we're going to fully knock you out. And I'm like, I looked at her and I was like, why? We just had a discussion. You just told me that I could pick and I chose the other one. I don't want to do that. And she was like, well, you've been nauseous. I don't want you to throw up and aspirate into your lungs, and then we'll have a bigger situation. She's like, you're going to be fine. It's going to be okay. I just wanted to let you know. I was like, okay. At this point, I don't have a choice, so I don't even know why. I don't even know why you told me that. So anyway, I get into the bed. She's like, think of a happy dream. I'm like, hell, anywhere but here is happy. I'm like, hold on, wait. Okay, all right, I think I'm ready. So my doctor comes, bless his heart, and holds my hand, and I squeeze his hand, and he squeezed my hand back, and I'm like, I'm ready. And then next thing I know, I'm up in recovery, and my lip was extremely, I don't know what happened when she intubated me. I feel like it was probably rough, because my lip was like bruised and busted a little bit, and like maybe she had taped it, or that's the way the I don't know, but my lip was busted and swollen when I woke up. They gave me some medicine for nausea, made me use the restroom, watched me. Yeah, they asked me if I had any pain, and I was like, I'm not having any pain. I'm just nauseous. My stomach just hurts. And so I'm really blessed for that as well. I woke up with no pain, no cramping, and I was fine. I just was really groggy. And yeah, so, you know, they let me sit in recovery for a little while, and then they released me. They put me back where I guess I came from. My sister came, met me, and then, you know, they wheeled me downstairs, and then I was able to go home. So when I got home, mind you, this happened this week, all right? How I'm sitting here right now, I have no idea, because what I've been through in the last 10 days has been pure hell. But by the grace of God, I am here, and I am going to keep pushing. But so I make it home, and I kind of just have been resting ever since. My recovery now has been pretty smooth as far as bleeding and cramping goes. I attribute that to my doctor and my body too. I'll give me some credit. But my doctor, I feel like, is an angel, and I feel like he just was gentle and just did what he needed to do. He did say that I did not bleed much at all. He was like, you did not have much bleeding at all. And so I really don't know what that means, but I'm guessing it was a good thing. I haven't had hardly any bleeding, any cramping at all. But 2 days after surgery, my whole upper body, from my chest to like the top of my top lip, was in so much pain. My shoulders were hurting. My chest physically was hurting. Like the muscles were hurting. My neck muscles, not my throat, but like my neck muscles were hurting. My jaw, it hurt to swallow, but not like not on the inside, like I had a cold, but like just my muscles. And I was in so much pain for like a day. I took some Tylenol, took a hot shower, and then by the next morning, I was fine. And so I've been generally just body sore, and I think that's probably just from having a procedure done. But as far as like bleeding, cramping, and that whole thing down there, she's good, and I'm grateful for that, because I know it could have been worse, and it varies from person to person. But I feel like, you know, I'm healing really good. Like I said, I woke up with a busted lip, so I feel like she beat the shit out of me while I was in anesthesia, while I was in there. From up top, it's like she had a fight with my head, my whole upper body, while my doctor was down there doing his thing. She was up there just really getting it in. Boom up, like that's what it feels like. So I'm still kind of sore, but I'm doing okay. I haven't even had to take any Tylenol, you guys, so it's been a blessing, to be honest. My emotions now are, I'm still emotional about the loss of the baby. I'm not trying to keep it in, but I am trying to make sure I don't fall into like a depression over it. I'm trying to still find the beauty in life. I've been like, today I decided, you know what? I've been looking like I feel all week. I'm going to do something with myself today. I redid my nails, just trying to make myself feel good and just feminine, and kind of just, you know, putting a little bit back that I feel like I've lost over the last 10 days. And it's helped a little bit. Myself right now not being able to like watch any like baby content, which I love the little baby content and the pregnancy content. All the mommies that I follow that are pregnant right now, or that I followed because I'm like, oh, we're pregnant together or whatever. I can't watch that content right now because it makes me sad. And I felt guilty at first, like, damn, should I, like, this is like a weird feeling, like, to kind of not even be jealous, but kind of just like, damn, that was supposed to be me. And I think that's a normal, natural feeling. So I'm going to just allow myself to feel like that, not put myself in positions to be uncomfortable or to feel bad, and allow myself to just feel how I'm feeling right now in this moment, and just realize that it's okay. You know, it's okay to not be able to, I don't want to see anybody with their babies right now. All the babies are so cute. I just can't handle it right now. You know, I don't want to see anybody rubbing their stomach right now. Like, I just can't see that right now. And that's okay. And I know I'll get through that, but right now it's touchy for me. Other than that, I feel like I'm trying to find the good in each day, and I'm trying to not fall, like I said, into a depression or a sadness. My doctor's office is amazing. They reached out and gave me a referral to a fetal loss counselor. It's like a mini therapy package. You get like 10 sessions. And so I'm going to start doing that in I think about a week or so, and just kind of, you know, just talk through my emotions. I don't necessarily feel like I absolutely need therapy, but I've been through something very traumatic and I need it. I definitely do need it. So I'm going to take it and utilize the resources that have been given to me. And I hope that it helps overall with my healing, and just continue to pray and hug my babies tight every day. And just enjoy being a mom to the babies that I have here on earth. And baby Jay will always be in my heart. Me and dad are going to do something special for him. It's something to remember him by, whether it be like a bracelet or a necklace. So that's really how the last 10 days have been for me. I forgot to mention that they did come in at some point in pre-op and ask me like what I wanted done with his remains. Some options were for like more further along moms, but the one that they really kind of pushed me to do was like cremation. And the way she said it was like, you know, they cremate his remains and then they like scatter them on our private property. And I just don't know if I believe that. Like, I just don't know if I believe they actually gonna do that. I just don't know. I don't believe that. I think they just say that to give you like that closure, that peace of mind. But anyway, because then I was thinking afterwards, I should have just asked for, if you're gonna cremate him, I want him. But anyway, just kind of making peace with the way everything is right now. Still gonna get a piece of jewelry or something to commemorate him so we can remember him by. I cut my bracelets from the hospital and put them into a book that my boyfriend gave me for us to keep like all of our memories and stuff in. And so I'm gonna add baby Jay's ultrasounds and like my hospital bands and everything. Oh, that makes me emotional thinking about it. To our memory book. And, you know, we'll get this jewelry, and we're not going to forget him. He's always going to be with us. I just have to find the peace and the happiness in that. Final update is I spoke to my doctor today. He called just to check and see how my healing was going. And he did say that he was going to he sent over some samples off to the lab just to, I guess, to get a pathology report to see if there was a reason for him passing away. And I think that is the most special gift that I could get right now, because I really want to know. And I think as a mom, as parents, we'll drive ourselves crazy trying to figure out the reason why. So if there is a reason why he passed away or something that caused him to pass away, we should know in a few days. That is my story time on my miscarriage and my DNC. It's been crazy, but I'm looking forward to the future and getting some closure with this situation and feeling better. So I'm doing well. I'm healing well. I'm mentally doing okay. So thank you to everybody who has checked on me, reached out, prayed for me and my family. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. If you made it to the end of this vlog, you already know you're the real MVP. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Strong mommy Chrissy, she's a queen. If you're rocking with her,